Welcome to Second Bull Run. So I've gone 4 training, 7 Army organization, 58 points. I did take the money, and $134,000 left. I have 55,000 in every supply wagon. Why not? Okay, scales, and Ulysses S. Grant, and then the other 2 3-star generals. And McClellan is about to get his 2nd star. Harland, Bobby Woods. I don't know where Sweeney came from. I think Sweeney was came up through the ranks, I think. Okay, I did a thing here which is very useful to do in multi-phase battles, which is you put in a 3-star general and you give the unit the next perk, if possible. And during the battle, in the camp phase, that perk will be activated, and then the rest of the battle, the unit has the perk available. So this is just a matter of, and you can put a 3-star general in a division and then a 3-star general in the unit, and yeah, it works. So you also notice, I'm showing you the organization of the Army. For the first phase, I move things around, but I don't need to show you that. You need to put all this artillery in the 1st Division. But this is the organization for the battle, if that makes sense. And I don't want to show this every phase. So notice all the 3-star artillery. There is a bunch of it. And there's also a bunch of Napoleons and 3-inch guns. Just a bunch of them. So there's Loomis. I'd really like to get him to be a corps commander. Okay, I have 2 different kinds of infantry. The high efficiency infantry, which are high efficiency because I've invested in training, I've given those guys Enfields and 61s, and they are really good weapons in the hands of these quote-unquote high efficiency units. And by high efficiency, I mean relative to the horrible raw recruits that I got in the early part of the game that had, look at this, 12 efficiency. They're terrible. And the thing is that I found is these units with 55s they're awful. I might as well have given them 42s. Someone said in the comments section, 55s are horrible. Yes, they're horrible because they don't kill anything. So my goal is to get everybody 61s so they kill stuff and drive up efficiency. The 55s are just, like, they're completely unworkable. You've got to kill stuff to drive up efficiency, and for that you need better weapons. So that's kind of a lesson. So here are the cav and the snipers. Okay, 3rd Corps is mostly pretty green units. I want a Napoleon and a 3-inch gun in every division, and I do have some Napoleons, which I've spread out through most of 3rd Corps, but I don't have enough 3-inch guns. I am trying the 12H. It's hot garbage. I don't think it has any purpose. It's got to go. There's not room in the organization for it. Spend the money on 3-inch guns and Napoleons. They're God-tier guns. And by that I mean if you have enough of them, it just puts up a wall of steel in front of your army. They do a ton of kills. Every one of these Napoleons is capable of getting 1,000 kills. And this is just 4th Corps to give these division commanders some XP. And I think all of them get promoted except for this last one. And he's the worst division commander in the Army. These units, they don't do anything. They're just there to defend the flag in the last phase. So I put a star by all the units that have a star that they might get in one of the phases. And what I find out is this is really close. They get very close to getting a unit perk. Some units do get their unit perk. I put a star in their name so I could see the ones that did. But those low efficiency units just struggle to get XP or any kind of experience gain. That is a very high size for the enemy force. The AI really scales up because of my monster size, almost 90,000 strong army. But that's what I want. I want my infantry to get in and fight. And now, having said that, you will watch a phase where only artillery gets any real experience. So this is on 4 times speed, of course, and we're just going to fire at these guys for a while. So it turns out the enemy is going to bring in 96,400, and in the last phase he's going to get a pop of 25,000 men. It is not my intention to fight this battle with just artillery. I just want to fight this phase and the next phase with mostly artillery. And the reason I'm fighting this phase with artillery is this doesn't look to be an appealing battle to me. 15,000 men. You know, I contemplated what units would I bring, and then I decided, no, actually there's a real opportunity here. And again, I'm using Pandakraut as a guide, and for what he did in this battle. And this is not a waste of time. The thing about this is these guys are all 3-star, but for example, the Whitworth and the siege gun, if they can develop, they can get enough XP, then I can add a new gun to them with raw recruits, and they will keep their 3rd star. It's very unlikely I could take them from 8 guns to 10 by adding raw recruits, but it is possible to take them from 8 to 9, and they keep their 3rd star, and then I take them after a battle to 10. So generally, after each battle, you can add a gun to a good 3-star unit that's gotten a lot of XP, including Napoleons, and not have to buy veterans. And that, of course, is the goal. And you want to do that because if your unit gets 100 in every skill, you're not getting any buff to the command of the officer. So, you know, you do hit a point where your unit is just 100 in everything, and it's the officer isn't getting any growth, any promotions. So anyway, that's the plan. And after this battle, in fact, I can add 9 to the Whitworth and the siege with raw recruits. So I guess he started with 15. We have him down to 11,000. We've killed 4,000 or something. The sniper is there just to get visibility. I have had this sniper trigger an attack before. I don't want the AI charging, so I didn't have to re-roll any part of this battle. I've been very lucky with that this entire campaign. So the only way you'd have to re-roll this phase is if, you know, all the enemy units came charging in on your artillery and killed them. I would probably do a re-roll. Okay, so we killed 5,000, something like that. He has 65,000, I have 87. Okay, let's see. As you can see, from what I showed you the first time, I moved all these units into 1st Division so they'd come in. Now I'm going to move things around because you get to select what units come in the next phase. I'm going to move infantry back into 1st Division, put these guys back in 4th. It doesn't really matter. So they did get, 4,000 or 5,000 kills. The total enemy force is 96,400. So that's good. So the AI scaled up slightly higher than I've scaled up. He'll get 25,000 men in the last phase of the battle as the final reinforcements. Usually he gets a tiny number of reinforcements, but this is a pretty big army. But a lot of this army is pretty terrible. So my goal is to get all of these infantry units that are really terrible, have at least 2 corps get unit perks. So what I'm doing here is I turned off the ammo wagon for my artillery. So I'm going to have these fire for free. Now, if you want to get more kills here, as Pandakraut did, just resupply these guys. They'll get 3 times the kills because they'll fire 3 times faster. But my thought was I'll save the money and get these kills for free since they're on empty anyway. And then, because it's not my goal to kill them all with this artillery. So I don't know how many kills they're going to get. It's going to be a bunch. Okay, now the army comes in. So I turned the supply wagon on, and actually I could have fired for a while on 0 ammo, because it takes a while to get everybody into place. So I put detached skirmishers in the front. As long as I can see somebody, it's all good. I don't really care who we shoot at. Just kill somebody. I'd like to let the enemy have 60,000. I thought if I can get him down to 40,000, kill 10 or 20,000 before my infantry gets up and on board, and then the AI charges and we drive him down to whatever. We drive him under 30. We'll be in good shape for the last phase. My goal is to be able to wipe him out in the last phase. And you have about 5 hours in the last phase. And in that last phase, I want him to charge into my infantry and my infantry to fight toe-to-toe with the enemy pretty much in open ground. And I'm going to take losses by design, but all of these infantry units are going to get experience. So, yeah, and as the 55s took losses, but I don't think they got the experience that I was hoping they would get. And the problem is low efficiency. And so I've never been able to make the high training start work. I just don't do well. I've never been able to make it, even on Brigadier General, very far in that campaign. I have to have recon and econ to be able to do well. And I think the Army is doing very well, but if I can get good enough to take the high training start and then invest in econ after that, that would be a better start if I can figure out how to do it. So these Napoleons and these 3-inch guns are all capable of getting over 1,000 kills in this battle easily. I think I have a 3-inch that gets closer to 2,000 kills, and Napoleons that get closer to 1,500. The trick is just to get them in range of the enemy and make sure they fire a lot. That's the whole trick, and they'll just get a lot of kills. And that's really good because my Napoleons now are 2-star and 1-star, and so are the 3-inch guns. And the goal is to get them to 3 stars as quickly as possible. And for both of those guns, I would like to get a Napoleon and a 3-inch gun in every division. And then when I get 5 full divisions of that, well, you don't need 5 full divisions until the end game. But let's say 4. Well, you really don't need 4 divisions of that, because for most of the battles you can only bring 2 corps to the battle. But yeah, I would like to get 2 corps of 3-star artillery, Napoleons, and 3-inch guns. And then you do the same trick, is they get so much XP in battles that you add a free gun every battle the unit fights. So it starts at 12 guns, all these units are at 12 guns. And they get to 3 stars, and as soon as possible you go to 13, 14, 15, and yeah, you just keep growing the batteries. And of course you'll rotate in any new batteries that need to get to 3 stars, so by the time you get to the end campaign you have, that's my goal, is to have a 3-star Napoleon and a 3-star 3-inch gun in every division for Richmond. And short term, I would really like to get every infantry unit to 2 stars, or to 1 star, before Antietam. And while I don't do it here, I think every unit in the first 2 corps either gets their first unit perk or they're very, very close. So I should be able to get every unit in the first 2 corps to 1 unit perk, I think, in the 2 side battles before Antietam, which would be very good. 3rd Corps is just made up of really low efficiency units, and we're going to have a tough time. So my plan for the Army, to upgrade the Army, is to get everybody with 61s and infields. After this battle, you get to buy 7,500 Lorenzes. Okay, that's good. My good units will have Lorenzes. But I need to start spending my money on 61s. In fact, I should have started before this. I should have been spending my money on 61s. 61s get twice or more, many times in some cases, the kills of 55s. 55s are just really terrible. And I need to get all of these units 61s and infields so they can kill something when they fire. And yeah, then we'll be off to the races. Then I'll have 3 good corps of units with unit perks, and that will be outstanding. So if all of my infantry units have a unit perk and they are backed up by a 2-star, and every division has a 2-star Napoleon and a 2-star 3-inch gun, that's going to be a very, very deadly army. And my long-range guns, their job in life is just to take out enemy artillery. I think you're going to see, I'm talking over this because even though this is at 4 times speed, there's nothing happening. Yeah, my unit just took a loss because there's a ninja unit right there, a stinking skirmisher unit with invisibility potions. And he's about 300 in size, and I just hope he doesn't rout my entire army. So I'm moving up an infantry unit to get... I'm more concerned about that 300-man skirmisher unit than I am concerned about this, about Hood. Hood is, I think, 2,500, and, probably 3 stars, and I'm not concerned about him a tiny bit. I'm concerned about this very tiny skirmisher unit. Okay, that was bad. I didn't expect him to be there, but I did get an ammo wagon, so that's okay. I was paying more attention to the skirmisher than I was to the very large infantry unit that I didn't see on my left, and I rode right into him. Stinking skirmishers. Yeah, he's 2 stars, so he's very deadly. If he was 3 stars, then you could just rout the Union Army by himself. Lightsabers, machine guns, whatever. So I have oversized skirmisher units, which drives up the scaling of his skirmisher units. So part of that is self-inflicted. Okay, here comes Hood, 3,300, not worried about Hood. He's going to get into melee, take a lot of fire, from my units. Unfortunately, I think I'm able to stop him before he gets into the woods, but this position I have is not the best. Yeah, he keeps charging into this wooded area, and getting into melee in this wooded area is very much suboptimal. I should let him charge through the woods and come out into the open instead of exchanging shots with him here. Okay, that's what we want. A whole bunch of Napoleons in 3-inch just picking this guy to death. So he took some losses. Hopefully Hood is dead. That would be nice. I'm not going after that supply wagon. There's a lot of stuff up there. So that worked. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 infantry and a dozen artillery. I just sent him packing. That was good. Rinse and repeat a couple hundred times. That's the goal. Yeah, you don't want to go too far north because his artillery can hit you, and he has a bunch of it. Okay, another 3-star unit. Yeah, I should fall back, and eventually I do. I'm torn between trying to give him something to see so he can attack it, because I really want him to attack, but he keeps attacking right down this wood line, which is very much not a good thing. And the other thing is I'm too close to his artillery. So I eventually sort this out. Okay, early is 3,600. Everybody target him. Yeah, I should pull everybody back and get early into... get him out of the woods. Yeah, he's going to take a boatload of fire, but... yeah, we should have... I didn't do that as well as I will do it in a little bit. I should have had everybody fall back. I think my guns are too far forward. I need to pull the guns back a little bit so that when these guys attack, I can fall back out of the wood line and pull them into the open. Do all this in the open so that the damage to them is much, much greater. I mean, on the plus side, that is XP. But on the downside, that would have been a whole lot more effective if we'd done that fighting in the open. Okay, he's still getting pounded. Okay, I have a couple units that need to be moved to the rear. And he has 2 skirmishers in the water. Now this is actually very good. Yeah, the 24Hs are good, but they have very short range, and they're just real expensive to fire. Okay, Hood is going to lose this. Okay, that was easy. Okay, this is what we want to do. Now, I'm not doing this as well as I should. Again, yeah, see, I'm in the woods. I need to have my artillery fall back and have my infantry fall back and pull them into that open area, this would all be much better. Now down here, he has 3 infantry and 2 snipers, I think. And yeah, he's really fast, and my infantry is really slow. So I can't fall back to the guns from that position. They have to start closer to the artillery. So that's I get it sorted eventually. We're going to get into melee in the woods again. Okay, down here we have 2 or 3 infantry and 2 snipers, and I'm just going to move everybody forward in the open, and we're going to fire at these guys. A lot of them don't have a unit perk, so I'm perfectly willing to take losses on these no-star units for them to get their unit perk. And of course I would give anything to kill those 2 stinking snipers, because they're stinking snipers. I guess what I could have done was, this position we're in, now that I'm looking at it on video, I could have had my 55s run closer to the enemy. At close range, they're not bad. So because the enemy's stuck in the water and flashing white, and probably stuck on the terrain, by moving forward, my units, like his units aren't doing a lot of damage right now because they're flashing white. So what I could have done is have all my units go forward and fire at close range, and they would have gotten more kills. That probably is the best, and a lot of those units are 55s. So finally he's in the open, and he insta-routes because he's getting hit in the open, so he's getting his head taken off. I must have 6 units firing at this guy. So this is good. All of his units are just getting beaten up, just taking a beating. And the guys in the water are taking a beating. And I have 2 cav on the left. And I think they're melee cav. And it occurs to me, if I get those melee cav over here, we might kill these guys. So I'm looking at an opportunity to kill 4,000 men, and most importantly 190 snipers. So killing 4,000 is good, but killing 190 snipers is, you know, that's priceless. Okay, I know my cav is going to take some shots going up after the guy to the north. Okay, we got a capture. The guy who's been just shot to death, if I can just get 2 units on top of him. Let's see. I should have sent 2 55s. My commander is there. I have artillery support. I have 3 units charging. Lots of fire coming in. Up in the north, my cav is just grinding on this guy. Want to take him out. Yeah, I take the shot, not a surprise. And my commander, Schaefer, is going to get wounded, but he comes right back. Colonel Schaefer is wounded, but he comes back at the end of the battle, and he goes back into that unit. Because we do the last phase. So that unit shatters. I want to kill his commander and capture a supply wagon. So that went well. Fortunately, the commander was only wounded. Yeah, his artillery is just... I shouldn't be that far north. And now he does have this one artillery on the left, and I want to keep him busy with these detached skirmishers, but unfortunately, over and over again, his artillery is going to show up on the left, not on the right, and my long-range guns are on the right. So the right play at this point was to bring all of my artillery south, but as I was doing this, I was thinking, well, if I move them all south, then his entire army will show up on my right flank. Yeah, see, I'm further back and doing more damage, and I think taking fewer losses, and he has to charge a greater distance, giving my artillery the chance to fire more times, giving my infantry a chance to do more damage while taking less damage from his artillery. And the right answer is actually fall back a little more. So I've got to trying to get the 10-pound parrot up, who's going to have a very good day, to start taking shots on this guy, but I end up bringing, I think, a 20-pound parrot. I should have started the 20-pound parrot, and I think the Whitworth eventually comes over. And yeah, I should have done that. I'm still trying to kill Longstreet. Okay, snipers. So there are two snipers there. Yeah, look at Law just get his head kicked in. That's what we want, over and over again. And this is working out much better with the line being a little bit back, and once I pull back even a little more, it's going to be perfect. Looking for supply wagons and more snipers. Yeah, killing generals with cav is very tough if you're not really perked for speed. Finally, I get him caught in the corner and we kill him. Longstreet. Yeah, that artillery is really deadly. And I can't go up and get him because he has infantry in those fortifications. So finally I get the 20-pound parrot up. He's just going to fire at my units. He was firing at a unit with 55s, so not too terrible. I keep checking as his numbers drop. I'd like to get him, as I was doing this, I was thinking I'd like to get him under 40,000. Yep, more snipers. Darn it. And I can't really get on top of him where he is now because there's too much stuff in the woods. So hopefully retreat and get him to come across that open area where I can maybe kill him. And also I did get his artillery to turn around, so that's good. So there's very little mischief I can get into. There were no supply wagons. I couldn't get visibility on his artillery. Yeah, everything I'd wanted to do. Now, one thing you can do is Pandakraut builds detached skirmishers. I think perked for... No, skirmisher units perked for speed and spotting, and that's really good. This is a bad surprise. I didn't expect 2 units to be here. So my 3 units are coming in to help. My melee cav is coming from the south to help. But yeah, this is going to be on the bloody side. So we want to get on top of these snipers. Yeah, he won that melee. He won that against my melee cav because he was able to fire into it with two-star snipers. Okay, we killed him. Now let's kill this next one. Yep, and an infantry unit shattered. Very nice. Okay, we're just going to hide the captured unit in the woods to the north. That'll be fine. And, man, we're just slowly killing his artillery. He just has a lot of artillery. So I'm bringing up the Whitworth to help, because it's taking forever. And he stopped charging me. I need him, I really want him to attack. The worst thing that could happen is he just stops attacking. That would be the single worst thing that could happen. Yeah, we want this. This is what we want. Okay, he's down to 41,000. Yeah, while my units are taking losses, they're also racking up a bunch of kills. And, yeah, I'm trying to position these 55s to the front, so they take losses but also get XP. I think this goes on for 4 more hours, so as I'm looking at this, I'm thinking he's down to probably under 40,000 right now. 4 hours, we can kill another 20,000 easy. I don't know. Yeah, one of the troubles is even with my very high recon, he can see my units, but I can't see his, even when I have detached skirmishers out. So I think having sniper units perked for spotting that can go forward and maybe get better visibility at this time of night. I could have hit finish and gone to the next phase. But, I mean, why? The army is here. We have plenty of ammo. He's down to 38,000. Kill another 10, 20,000 easy. Everybody's getting XP. Yeah, that's very nice. I'm not worried about his cav at all. Not worried about his infantry, not worried about his cav, I'm worried about his artillery. Bleeding my army to death, and I'm worried about his lightsaber wielding, machine gun toting snipers. That's what I'm worried about. Hey, this is very welcome. I'm glad he is moving forward. But as you can see, all of my units, I moved all the artillery from the north, so now he moves to the north and occupies those fortifications. Not when I had all the artillery in the world there, but now that I don't have anything there. Okay, with these positions at this time, I think what you want to do is just make sure your 3-inch guns are within range. I'm not worried about it. 3,000 2-star infantry charging in. Just not interested. I mean, it's just no threat to the army at all. But yeah, I think I start moving men back to stay out of his artillery range, but also, like, look at that, that's 792. All I have to do is be able to see it, and perfect opportunity for my 3-inch guns to just grind XP on him. Yeah, this unit of 1600 Law coming in slow. He's just going to get beaten up. And I don't care about the guys coming in 1-star infantry 2500. He's got no chance. My 1-star Lorenz will tear him apart. Yeah, see, he didn't even. The Napoleons put up a wall of steel. Oh, and he shattered. Nice. So yeah, the trick at this point is get the 3-inch guns within range of this line that his units are going to be on, and also the James, and so that everybody can shoot. It's about 1945. I think I have just short of 3 hours, so they could just park there, fire. Even if they don't have ammo, it doesn't matter. Just they'll grind XP. So yeah, this is the plan. This is the plan for day 1. Well, this is day 2. For day 2, this phase, this is the plan. And the plan for the next phase, when the enemy gets reinforced and should counterattack, is that we're going to fight him as much as possible toe-to-toe. It's not going to be this. It's going to be get the infantry online with artillery support across the entire map, and wherever he attacks, exchange shots. It's going to be bloody. More bloody than it has to be, but if I wanted to keep losses down, I would have played this a little differently. Well, first thing you do is you scale down. Smaller units, fewer men, and you rely almost entirely on artillery. So he seems to have very long range in that position, which is okay. I just want to be out of it unless I'm going to, you know, hit him with 4 or 5 infantry at one time. And I want to make sure my artillery units are not taking pass-through damage, and they have taken a little bit of pass-through damage. So I'm checking my units to see how much pass-through damage they've taken. Yeah, there's a no-star infantry, 1800 with Enfields. He needs to get kills, so get him up, taking some shots on Lawton. Early is not going to do well. Yeah, he's already running away. Okay, I moved some. The Napoleons are perked for horse, so got a couple of Napoleons up just in time for this attack. And Jenkins is not going to like canister to the face. Yeah, these guys really don't have a chance. Yeah, all the Napoleons are now perked for accuracy, so canister is going to hurt a lot more. Oh, did he shatter? I think he might have shattered. Yeah, I'm thinking that 3-star unit of 470. I'd like to kill him rather than face him tomorrow. He is a 2nd brigade, so he got a split on that 3-star unit. 390, 380, but we didn't kill him. Okay, he's down to 31. Yeah, I think something needs to be done about spotting. If he can't see me because it's dark, if I can't see him because it's dark, he shouldn't be able to see me, but he has perfect vision. Nice! Well done, detached skirmisher, you wiped him out. Yeah, of course I'm trying to bait these guys into attacking, but apparently they've seen this trick. Yeah, we've not done a good job of degunning him. So I think to degun him I needed to keep my long-range guns on the right, and then when watch Panda Kraut, when the right, Union right, empties, the enemy leaves, you can send the detached skirmishers up to get spotting on his artillery and take out some of his guns. So he still has a lot of guns, and he's going to have more guns tomorrow. And this is going to cost me losses. Yeah, at this point I just want to have something to shoot at. I'm having such trouble with visibility, I'm being cautious, because like you'll notice he's hitting my infantry, but I can't see what's firing. And is the guy in the entrenchments hitting Bragg? Or is it his artillery? I can't tell. So rather than press forward, I decide to fall back, and whatever the heck it is that's picking on my infantry, make that stop and try to just, yeah, see he's hitting Colquitt. I think it's artillery. I think he's moved his artillery forward. But it's invisible, I can't see it, so... want to back up so I can get free shots on him, and he can't get shots on me. Yeah, he's still hitting Colquitt. Yeah, that's pretty weird that he can see my detached skirmishers before I can see his infantry. I mean, unless he has 10 in recon. I don't understand. I think I'm penalized for sight, and he's not. That's what I think the deal is. So I keep trying to get close enough to get spotting. He gets visibility before I do. A detached skirmisher in the woods, and he gets visibility before I do. Hey, Bennett is wounded. Okay, I think a unit shattered because the red bar jumped. Okay, I'm going to try to exit this supply wagon off the map. I don't think he makes it. Okay, the enemy comes in tomorrow with 50,000 and 184 guns. I have 83,000 and 258 guns. So that worked out about as well as I could have hoped. It went very well. I think I'm in good shape for the next day. It's a bit of a surprise that he gets 25,000 reinforcements for Phase 3, but if you don't want to see 25,000 reinforcements on Day 3 and face 50,000 men, then bring in a smaller army. So I, however, want all of these guys to get into battle and fight and grind some efficiency and some XP, and they're going to get a whole bunch of experience. We're going to take losses, but I think the payoff is worth it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.